Rwenzoris TV, you Getway to the Rwenzoris. Ukosha mabya dakika 10 umesha malaba umwasaha omunani. Abutereve chiru cha munabwire ngende bwende ukulikeyo eya wendire ukasiba. #isatiru kibya masata munani paka saha 10 eshiri wolowolo. Of course itune mulebya ebya masata omwangereti ya mutina muyima specifically definitely otukale bayo mupira because we have tried to overview to abire ebya mupira. It's like niwakanga uti amakuru sis ikiru kya mulolo utwabira hano so watukayenda atukayalebereria abuteref we wamabya maybe suite free to air of course unauti hwaule wangana tuhambo kwa social media platforms wanganendo kwa TikTok Rwenzoris TV, of course YouTube Rwenzoris TV, Facebook Rwenzoris TV, voterev atwangabye tukakwa mana and of course you shouldn't maybe ukabura ukayibulia what is going on especially kwa bandu abane moenda mwashanguda ababane maybe omusha offices try langire ndo matukwama obuli osihosha hokanza maybe erikachira oba irahambe show well ekiru kya munabwire buterev ngali anza specifically tutandike kwa ekiru kya munabwire ngali anza tutandike nesha awards eshi abyo okwa Serena okwa kiru kya muliwolo abiti muko 2024 Fufa Awards esha bibawa ekiru kya muliwolo okwa Serena Hotel neho ngali anza atutandikire okay well utara vinyo abitimuko well Fufa Awards esabyo kwa Serena Hotel oyo mukoro okenda ukalebyo yo ninga se function ya Fufa Awards 2022 sponsored in Mtn Uganda. Well ngali anza tukalebereria heading maybe echakulire mu amakuru amani mu mpira abishesha awards as the season ikabya ikayendinga and I think I don't know why well it has delayed. However engineer Magongo Fufa president owe Fufa mwakala ya makangania ndekende kinde matubwira nde tukende sabya tukasubulisha awards atukende sabya tune live and of course by the way ebi mabi okwa bintu bifufa yabere byenga ikachivinga. I think it is media definitely bangana tunga have media house all those nebidi binene I think they have achieved. So we are back okwa awards esi well angala za tusamalira okwa maybe angala za tuka samalira people are disturbing me here so I don't know, but let me try to first clear this then tuangabia well buterev ngali anza tusamalira kwa awards ngokwa shendisika abibwa well Dennis Omedi a former Chitara striker elibi mwakasinga you know a best player of the year omwabalume 2022 shesha awards by the way abandu bakaba kabulia these awards nisha 2022 not 2025 so of course and Dennis Omedi a former Kitara FC striker esa henwali mwali Hungary Rwanda kasatire timu y'abaketamu APR Dennis Omedi of course alongside Kampala Queens winger Zaina Nande abibaso nibo babiri bakasinga Zaina na ndede nibo babiri bakasinga in fact ebisembo ebya abasati abasingirere cyanga kapira omwabalume haima na mwaba nabo bukali of course wamasauka samalira ndekende I am much impressed maybe na shamoto kesiri abibawa regardless singanziringa ngaendo mwachika che motoka but the fact is ni motoka inauti ibiri ngubeni then of course award show okwinje I think MTN ababiri bakalengisaya kutsibu ibiwangana aba motoka then we have seen several basically maybe Dennis Omedi actually kilina singa award yangu 2024 beyond no doubt abanyayuganda abanene tukayikiraniza yanne eribya inamasinga award yeyo. Of course ndi mwabi nakasinga ekikopo cha in fact Uganda Cup ne timu eye Kitara. Then of course amabi nakateka that performance actually gole yateba omwafufa Super 8 akateba yu etimu ya KCCA of course that Rubona. And that goal, it was Kende King of Kanabia nominated, by the way, no more FIFA Puskas Awards, Egoli ya Dennis Omedi, Yateva etimu ya KCCA, Fufa Super 8. So, Mumbirima kumia bilinini omwa koyo, Mwakanabia so spab, okwa musati, oyo baketamu Dennis Omedi, and definitely, of course, in the, even a contribution, Yabia Tekireho, okwa Uganda Cranes, Ribaka qualifying Chikopo cha Africa Cup of Nations ngumi 2025. So to me Dennis Omedi deserved everything. Well twamasubo kwa golo ya Dennis Omedi yabye nakatebe timu ya KCCA omwa Fufa Super 8 and of course muyabya ikabya nominated omwa CAF, actually muyabya CAF Best Goal of the Year and FIFA Puskas Award muyabi ikaba ni komwasha goal esho esha FIFA Puskas Award producer gala za twera that goal tuleba yeyo. Meanwhile as we continue to see whether definitely abanyuganda nga bakabusabusa ya goal ya Dennis Omedi. Well sahali omundu wanganya because I think 2024 it was the best goal. It was the best goal, and surprisingly, Abandoba Nemba Windi, how can Ugandan also score this goal? Of course, it's a rating, and there's rumors, Musha Tandi, Keribiskali Kinga, Dennis Omedi, Eribina Kaenda, definitely kwa Eribina Kaendo kwa timu, maybe kwa Europe, nesha timu esine Hanoma, Africa. But surprisingly, Dennis Omedi, Amabia, inaka crossinga inakaendo mwa timu ya Rwanda, which was a bit more surprising very many, but I think the deal neshasende nishabye sakamfalo kwa mwalige ya Rwanda mwa timu yibaketamu APR Rwanda, but the performance yabyatekireho okwa in fact omwaka wangu 2024 kwa timu ya Kitara truly he deserved to be definitely the best player of the year. Fufa Awards beyond no doubt. To me Dennis Omedi deserved it. Eribina kasinga Buterev award yeyo eribya the best player of the year. Well now basically twamasubo kwa musika nandede engeri abina kasingamu ekirabo ekyo. Well okwa Queen's Cranes oba etimu ya banabo bukali under 20 women's national team mwabya inakayamba etimu yeribi kasinga omudali we bronze mu Africa Games eshabya omwalihanga mu Ghana earlier on. In fact mu kwangu 2020 and of course additionally amabina katebesha golo mukaya okwa side yeyo season yeyo ne timu eye Kampala Queens. So Kampala Queens making it making eribi bakaunzira mu kikaro ekyakabiri Fufa Women's Super League. Definitely when you add okwa performance yebyetekireho, then of course amalwayi ni namabya musati owasingire omwa mupira w'abanabo bukali. Of course alina mama wo yamukalangire so angasinge motoka a brand new vehicle, and of course it is always a pride, as I have always said it here and there. Ababuti baka contributinga moto tirafali bakagataku especially kwa bana benyu mwamanza baba kasinge bendu, but obuti watu katunga ababuti abatuuti abanene majority of them and they don't always think a point okwa bindu bye talent they bakanegiriketinga abana babo, but a parent owanawuto mwana wakasa tumpira you get amimi akahiramu amani looking it aside that the amahiramu that amani ayu yingo mubuti inasondere mwana wuye school inasondere mwana wuye team inabya working as an agent inabyo kwa forefront. Those are the achievements eshakukalangire abana bakaba achieving. So of course in that is awards. However wamasauka samalire in the list eyaba winners abangali anzatu and maybe tukalebereria nomwabinde nomwayinde nomwasinde categories shangali anza twende tukaleberera twangamenyerera how maybe others nabo ngokuba ba performingire omwasi the awards ngali anza twende maybe okwa full list twangayenda tukamenyerera nga bindiri bikakola biti of course ne timu y'omwaka all those categories twangayenda tukamenyerera maybe but ngali anza tusubeho kakibwiro kwa maybe Dennis Omedi mwaka singa bahayi omwa category eya abasati abasingirere cyanga kapira omwa mwaka Dennis Omedi of course ndi amwasingira opponents okule Patrick John Ekakande in fact Patrick John Ekakande and musati we Sports Club Villa of course ndi nemo kwa basati ababa tekerwe performance yiwene angumbirima 20 then of course iwakanyo kwa Sekiganda Ronald abutere Sekiganda Ronald a Sports Club Villa then Judy Semogabi okwa side eyo kwa timu ya Vipers that means nti Judy Semogabi haimana Dennis Omedi babya so instrumento okwa side eye team eye kitara and buterev bamabya ibakabya okwanusha nominees and of course the list eyirunzerera eyabasati maybe ababya baka competinga ekiru kya muliwolo then of course Alan Okello team ya Vipers by the way for your own information in the Alan Okello near top scorer o season eno o Uganda Premier League and that means that maybe awards eshagumbiri 25 we hope the Dennis Okello akendibi nakabya key one of the key players abakendibya ibaka maybe ibakavuganyirisingo kwa bisembo ebyo mwaka 2025 and of course the contribution yatekereho kwa Uganda Cranes basically much as in the a season yeyo eyangu 2020 was not so instrumental like this very season but of course to me he deserved that kind of a recognition maybe eribina kabya applauded kwa side yeyo kwa side yeyo eyeribya arisombola basati abasingire omwakono then of course wameenda ukasamaliro kwa banabo bukali Zaina mwaka bina kasinga Zaina mwaka bina kasinga Agnes Nabukenya owe Kawempe Muslim and of course amabina kasinga omusati mwenzi bakametamu Samira Naluja then of course Desi Nakaziro Haiman Haiman arrest ko busobozi omusati we Lady Doves so okwasaidi eyo kuba byabendi bakasinga batya omusamaliri owe Rwenzori TV you Getway to the Rwenzoris and of course hashtag kisatiru kibya masata over the weekend and is a Saturday atukenda tukanabalaba omwebyo ebyendi bikakora amakuru this very weekend but Dennis Omedi you are male player of the year Uganda Cranes then of course a female player of the year Zaina of course ndingali anza twendi okwacha coach male player of the year Brian Senyondo abuterev nyo angali anza twendi kwa Brian Senyondo abuterev that is Brian Senyondo for you okwa screen ya Rwenzori TV Brian Senyondo mwabye nakabinga kwa timu eya kitara but for your own information I think eya kitara Brian Senyonto and the team AOC in as far as is concerned I think to me he deserved it basically but wamalangira specifically abantu bane nimba kali bare kwa side eya iribi na beyamba a team eya under 17 iribi kakolofayingo mwa chikopo cha World Cup under 17 but wamalangira no mwakuwa huwere kwa side eya kitara a performance yiwu yabye nendeke of course akaba yambeliva kasinga Uganda Cup then of course bamaye bakavuganyano kwa chikopo cha Uganda Premier League that is kitara for you cannot rule him out kwa side ya and of course abyo kwa timu ya Mbarara City amabina karo kwa Mbarara City in fact mbambo bingi if I'm not mistaken then amabina kaso kwa side ya kitara a season eno still mubaka nabi bakamubenga bamabya ibakaleta Waiswa Bosa amabina kasubo mwabisandu bya coach oyo Brian Senyonto but elilwa okwa timu ya kitara even umwa kono 2025 in fact I expect elibya momo kwa ba coach still abakende bakabaneka okwa okwa shanomini esho makango 2025. Why? I think to me eribina kalidinga a team under 17 omachikopo che World Cup is a great achievement in as far as okwa mpira wa Uganda ngokwa akaenda. That is Brian Senyonto for you. And definitely wamasauka langire ndi Brian Senyonto Uganda Cubs over under 17. Women football coach of the year Ayub Khalfan. I don't know singa siku, but however the achievements may be as Kaleka always in Abiaka, but severally awards is sineni like specifically skenda okwa coach wobukali Ayub Khalfan. Always like he's taking all those awards. But when you see a contribution yana Ayub Khalfan for you kwa screen ya Rwenzoris TV, I don't know basically whether we can't overview Elangira even other coaches. But sometimes we always want to look, but why always this one? Why always this one? But I think to me, Ayub Khalfan, his kind of tactics so kwa saidi ya mpira waba nabo bukali is like still leading Ayub Khalfan over Ayub Khalfan kwa saidi ya Yukawembe Muslim head coach. Fufa goal of the year Dennis Omedi. Egole Yateba. Producer, I don't know. That goal is down. You try to look us for that goal. Dennis Omedi goal up against KCCA. Fufa Super 8 ningumeyo kwa shagolo actually eshabya so super. By the way munga kubira ahanyuma hunga makubiri ndi egolo eyo muyabye ikavuganyo kwa Africa, in fact yamabika singa. Then of course FIFA Fuskas Award FIFA Fuskas Award, that is not the goal Ibra. I think you can check there. Yamabika singa okwa yamabika singa actually yamabika singo mwakondo mwasha what is this federation. So to me beyond no doubt yeah, that is the goal. Thank you, that is the goal. Angala zatuleba yende kendeke, that is the goal. Rabona, you know, the goal was so fantastic. Dennis Omedi ngumi 2020 you see eshagolo sisi kiramune ritebebwa abandu abali week sisi kiramune ritebebwa you know abandu batasi mupiri as such. So the goal was so superb. So that was the goal of the season. In fact yaberi kasinga goal eyo mseteba ketamu Dennis Omedi. Well now ngalanza twende kwa upcoming talent award James Bongere Sunshine Uganda. Of course ndio mwana onwani no kwa timu ya under 17 nemo mo kwa basete batekireho performance embu yang actually helping a team ya under 17 ibya ika qualifying mu World Cup under 17. Of course bakamwetamu James Bongere ali kwa timu ya Sunshine. I think the Sunshine ikanga ikasangiba we masaka. Thank you. That is the upcoming talent award. That young boy James Bongere Sunshine Uganda under 17. Then of course beach soccer player of the year Brian Ngumbe. Mabida kasinge chirabwe chininga se chisembe cho echa beach soccer a player of the year bakamita Brian Ngumbi abidi na kasinga chisembe cho atukachira tukalabalaba omasha awards. Then of course futsal player of the year bakamita Omara Amrian Kisenyi FC. Then of course fans of the year, and I think this fans of the year it is a bit muko you know thank you Biranji. Well, I don't know where do always fail Arabia some people here, because I think this is award that Uganda usianga nabina kasinga. According to me, this award, by the way, kanyolo makutsibu. When you say, I normally say this sebole mundu ndukedi bya musachi ompira ngana chibwa. But ompira akahamba bindu binene kutsibu itwabo si akahamba bindu binene kutsibu. Of course wanganabya muwagizi, wanganabya munyamakuru mwa mpira, you get. So mpira ne munene kutsibu categories ni sinene sha wangabyamu ewabya ewukasinga bisembe bitibya mutinamu yima. So birangiranchi of course abiri binakasinga that award kwa saidi eyo aya abawagizi abasingire eribya ebakawagira ompira birangiranchi group. Then Fufa President Award, Ashford, Mamelodi. Then of course Fans Uganda Foreign Best Player of the Year, Roger Smatu, and Yaberi Nakasinga in fact award yeyo. Mtn Media Personality of the Year, Geoffrey Mugerwa. In fact, Yaberi Nakasinga that award, and of course Haima no Mukali Oyibaketamu Catherine Nasali or Fufa TV, definitely Yaberi Nakasinga award. Basically, I don't know, but I think Fufa, Ngalanza producer to kwa media, Fufa, always they consider a lot of things, and I think to me Geoffrey Mugerwa beyond no doubt nemo moku banyamakuru ababeri bakasinga. To me also the award, I don't doubt it. Basically it's all about how maybe you present nga ukapresent nga wuti obwino bwa ukabya witi ideas muloro mungana chibwa na machibwende. Eribya munyamakuru we sports is even more than erisoma journalism. I think to me is more than even erisoma journalism ninga si erisoma makuru. Then you say you choose say njenge byange eribya makuru we sports is more than that, because omwa mpira ukasanga ibintu binene kutsibu, especially when it comes more than outside the playground. Hali ebintu ebikabya so detailed, very hard to interpret, but looking in the side and being a journalist, then of course what you must feel masata, I think to me cannot, it needs more than that, as I have always said. So there is that administration part of it. When you analyze, then when you administration of the game, how to kalemera wabanyamakuru wabanene, you get how to kalemera wahwende administratively it was and for you ebya ukalangiro mwamesu maybe bya ukanzo analyzing, and then people abande babira bakatitwalindi, you need to be maybe a ribi mwasata kumpira, or you need to be a footballer. It is more than that, you get, because there is a tumpira chisa will not make you to be a good journalist. No, whatever. I think it can't guarantee you unless you can be an analyst, you know, sports pundit, you analyze about the game. But a variety, in as far as sports is concerned, maybe Rwenzoris TV to analyze the game in as far as you get what I'm talking about. Then free kick, but there are other instrumental things analyzing. And of course, what makes you to be the best? Number one, maybe a research. Ukabi ukaita isiba research. Not only that, ukabi yangu wakaso, you know, people abandu bakanika inde, like this guy elibina singiri echisembuche elibia, you know, media maybe or yufufa ya berika ika rondo maybe ya masata elibina hirerio mwakuangu mbirima 12 then somebody will think inde, or it is because maybe eli supporting yufufa ikakola. That's how abanya Uganda bana ni ahoba kawira haho. But truly, as I have told you, that being a sports presenter, which was more than umupira nkokalangira okwatisa even other categories of the game. So that is what I think Fufa always pin kutsebu na bakomi, because they think babyo kwa online yerekoma. So to me, I give a vote and a tick to him. Namasinga that award. Basically, you need to know how to write bya ukahandekanga bini related on what maybe okwa omundu sende kukuba abandu sibende kukola mwesha eribi wamakola sisobe, not only on what you wrote, but basically mdo bya ukahandeka ebyo wute kubwino nga busubulire hai. So nechinde mwa presentation ya ukapresentinga research ya wite basically omundu eribi nangana kulebyo kwa TV and not to criticize you. As I have told you, the sports is not that beside you people in your mukale your program, you know, but there are very many people, instrumental people, a few of them have a sports more than maybe mwasomo mupira, mwasomo category of volleyball, mwasomo na vindu na kutiba administratively. So you must be a person who will not be criticized by people abasi sports you in as far as maybe a mistake, you would have said this. Much as in the abandu they don't want always to be criticized. They always think that they know. But definitely, again, which type of a person do akabi ne mundu choma ku criticizing. Some of you mundu akabati joka wa sherehe sports based on what? About joka sherehe sports. There are very many things that you should come out and say this guy akakola A B C D, not just because the dynamic la no kwa pano then you say joka sherehe sports baka kubulia number 1 auto mulengo when number 2 makatwa transfer speculation. That is not the best kind of way that you look somebody who know how to present sports. It is is more than that, the way how you think you guys you get. Kapsiri about mukanyirema yo kwa TV nama, you know, wamanyi samalira, I was well present. Of course those things are there, but specifically more administrative omwa mupira nomwa bya masata. Then of course trend yo kwa musika Catherine Nasal. Catherine Nasal echena nga kubwira ngo kwa basika bakahirira ye bya makuru omwa bya masata. Not only building your career or criticism, then you think that maybe from there you can win awards. Yes, abandu bakachira muno erisinga awards. You think out of studio criticizing people, then you move out to say, now I am big. Always people, they want always to criticize. That's why in the ukende sange wabi ukaripiting ekintu ekiwumerera, because for you have built your sports omu criticizing abantu babene, you criticize the football administrators, you criticize the football leaders, you want always to look negative things in as far as your sports is concerned. That is not the case. So one thing, inspiration is omabasika is all about maybe the difference is all about presentation and analysis. What you present, what you win, and basically research yaunga yireyete. Then of course it is not all about presentation, but also omwehande kama kuruwe sports. It is very very key. Esha article mpira erese handeka. Of course a story ya viewing it. Iyasanga nende se uche hau kabi wabere kola maybe. Live about with your mistakes in my writing. So then people say, "Mahakole mistake you mwakanywa." Oh, I'm not going there. But specifically, for example, if you write about or Uganda Premier League, you get basically eribi wangana detailing aninga siri bwamu erahande kamosha detail usinene Vipers ekikopumika nakisinga yete maybe ewa hamburger article, why is it that Fufa bakabe metwa eshamilio ninga, you get, and you make that kind of explanations eshomundu akende somako inabi nakaiterera ya. Now era so kwa baseka ngaba omusike libinanga nasinga award maybe as a journalist atikaita isibwa azana atikaita isibwa mu effort. By the way hano ekasesa even Ibrahim nga nakubura namakuburende, but ebyetu kala kinga hano ekasesa lede biso tuwuti abaseka bakaherera ya sports. Live about just eri anda waso mamakuru out Arsenal yakoliri yite yamase. That is not basically libi wangana heriri sports. Abasika bahan we don't have, you get, maybe twangana tunga ababa kairesha briefs inaenda na yasoma nasoma ebyaka ina abesoma, but specifically nje omundu yuwa kaire sports inatungo obongo, you know, obugazireho than presentation, making analysis best, because analysis is different than presentations or making it briefs, there's stories. So there is that very big difference. One, can it be happening in the kasese eribisi twangatunga ngo musiko wa kakole sports, there is that space ineho okwabaseka bakasoma ebintu bya makuru. And mind you, not every ndu ukiyasoma makuru then you say namabe soma makuru songa yatunga mubiri. Look side ahate occupied a message yende ya baseka betwa bali mu journalism, you get. Look a space where there is ahati akakutikanuka nene kutsewo. Then obutibwa baseka batu wicho mu journalism ya hano ne bagata sports that not a sports series abantu bagata. Sports always, mind you, inje wiki yikana huwa inga nimukisha sahanga mwenda shechiru ija bandu bakana nyisanga like abandu bakabyo kwa Light FM radio kwao. I'm always the last person elilo kwa Light FM, but why even when I have presented the program betu wasanga ndingendi lwa late, you get, sahanga musanju sahamwenda. So basically ukabyo ukiko kwa basika betu abanene nebagata, they don't want always to offer their time eribinanga nakole research, and these are the people abandu abakabyo kwa masimu 24 hours ewa mulangirina ni kwa simu, but abasika betu nebagata kutsibu, and you cannot present sports ewo nemuwata, because at the end of the day fine tukende kuleta hano kwa show then wakola wote ewuma ebinyu byakuhwako, you get. And maybe wanganasa no bwa wotenga wote a story vi a story video kwiwe, like me for example, let me give you an example. Njanga na ika hanu na out story ngangu ma story ngiviri, but I complete 2 hours, you get. But ngama kwerira those 2 stories and the wasu usi present nge hanu ukiwunza udakika ini sisa story shaku wako. So at the end of the day iwa isanga nindi you don't know sha detail just ambe nechi omwabya masata like wama some story yao, but what do you know about that story? So abana betu siba lanzere kola research nyine ne kutsibu, therefore I think to me it will take long erebi fangana tunga a woman sports presenter hano, but the space is there. The space is there, as I have told you. If at all maybe wamanzeriega ilianzeria sports definitely can be achieving abindu binene because female journalists on my sports they are few so that means that you can achieve a lot of things in as far as in Uganda yatulimwesa heno because abasika mkawa mutisimu uti mubiri now teramwe kisasani first of all iwa bya museke ukakola sports iwa ngana presenting ayo iwa hande kayo bindu bibiri bisa then after that why so for example an administration course in as far as sports is concerned maybe wanganaende wasoma eribya referee uma volleyball maybe eribya administrator uma mpira opportunities are there and these courses they are very cheap so the moment that wamasome journalism yawo yendo mwa mpira usome administration of the game yendo mwa mpira will be referee so that even when you are a presenter or a sports have a course that you have beside being a journalist but you are an administrator of the game you can be a CEO of the team you can be a coach well understand those courses they are there so that you fit omachi omampira you get what I'm talking about so it is not all about the wamasoma makuru masa then you have to leave the course there because of mamakuru it is very hard kukangiriria nga bakakola sports you but much as mangana kwangiriria principles maybe sere handika amakuru but it is very hard in general but yina nabyayo ni bahalimu nabake abasine sports you know but these are the things that would be actually bikaita isibawa and omundu anganere erekola sports not only presenting it but writing it is also very very important so bravo ababere ndabakasinga ebisembo ebya Mtn Fufa Awards of course it is achievement omaka wamawanga na twingira kasente kawo ere ku comment wo masinga you know ukabya ukakola wuti wabere kola ndeke now shameba dakika 12 ngalianza twende tukalebya a team of the year of course omwabasika no mwabojo Hannington Sevalunyo of course aberi inakabanika kwa side yeyo eribya goalkeeper then Garaga Atendele Nicholas Mweri Hilary Mukundani of course Arnold Odong Enoka Sebagala Patrick Johnny Kakande then of course Ronald Sekiganda Alan Okelo Dennis Omedi Judy Semugabe I don't know where you can oppose that team of the year over best male 11 of the year of course tutem Hannington Sebwalunyo that is a goalkeeper for you then twatungamu Geraga Atendele twatungamu Nicholas Mweri tutemu Hilary Mukundane Arnold Odong Enoka Sebagala Patrick Johnny Kakande then Ronald Sekiganda Alan Okelo Dennis Omedi and Judy Semugabe iye team eyabojo then of course eyabasika atutemu Des Nakansiro etwatunga Jolly Akobusinge etwatunga Shamila Nakachwa Awuki Kigongo etwatunga Shakira Nakagwa Zaina then of course Fiona etwatunga Rest Kobusobozi Shamira Naluja Agnes etwatunga na Sylvia Kavene actually ye team eyabasika best male best female of the year producer Ibra Wasinja Kutsevu umusamaliri wa Rwenzoris TV shadaika shema 40 angali asabende tuhumule mukaki just then tukendibya tukasubula na kitoka kya kabiri asuulo kwa Rwenzoris TV you get way to the Rwenzoris.